Alright, so my name's Stuart, and I'm going to be leading the practical today. First of all, a bit of health and safety. Today you're going to be working on the rocky shore, and this particular shore here at Cable Bay, as you can see behind me, is very, in technical terms, uppy and downy. Okay, lots of crags, lots of cliffs, lots of places you can fall over. So, at all times you'll be with a demonstrator or staff member. Stay with that demonstrator or staff member. Do as they say. Please don't run around. Please don't play around on top of cliffs. Please don't start climbing. Some of you might be climbers and want to show off your skills, some bouldering skills. Don't do that today, please. So the main danger really is simply falling and slipping. So just take care. If at any time you're not happy with where your demonstrator is taking you, then let them know, and they'll reassess the situation. Okay. So that's health and safety. Stay with the demonstrator and don't fall over. Okay. What are we doing today? Well, rocky shores are a great environment for looking at a change in environment from the marine environment, the sea, to the terrestrial environment. So today we're looking at the vertical gradient on the shore. So the vertical gradient from a marine environment to a terrestrial environment. And we're going to do that by doing a Quadrat survey. And what we aim to do is, first of all, get you more familiar with rocky shore organisms. So with your demonstrator, you'll be in a group of about 12. You've all got a number from 1 to 8. So your group is 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. First of all, your demonstrator is going to talk through a few of the common seaweeds and animals on the shore. You're going to use that knowledge then to do a survey using quadrats. And you're going to estimate abundance, either percentage cover, and you'll do percentage cover of algae and barnacles, and densities of things like snails. So percentage cover of algae and barnacles, densities of other animals, and you're going to record those on a spreadsheet. We're going to use those data in the lab later to assess a number of things that some of you might know about if you've read your handouts. What I want you to do, when I finish talking, you're going to assemble with your demonstrator in your group from 1 to 8. Within that group, you're going to arrange yourselves into pairs or threes. You're going to be working on the shore in your group, but as a pair or 3. When you've got that sorted, one of that pair or 3 people will go over there, where the van is, and pick up one large quadrat, one small quadrat, one clipboard which has got things on it. That's it, I think, is it? Is that right, Ian? Yeah. So one large quadrat, one small quadrat, one clipboard per pair or 3. You'll then get back together with your demonstrator who'll lead you onto the shore. On the shore, in mechanical terms, what you're going to do is, as a pair or 3, you're going to survey at low shore, mid shore and high shore. At each of those heights, you're going to survey between 5 and 10 of your large quadrats. Okay? So low, mid and high, between 5 and 10 of your large quadrats. If you've got time, do 10. If you haven't got time, do 5. With your small quadrat, and in each of those in each of those large quadrats, you're going to assess the abundance of any organism that you can see and recognise. Use your demonstrator or staff member to help you know what those are, because many of you won't have seen these before at all in your lives. If the demonstrator doesn't know, then call it species A. Maybe take a small amount of seaweed if you want and ask me later. But in general, we're doing non-destructive sampling, which means we're simply estimating things in situ on the shore. With a small quadrat, I want you to work only in the mid-shore and only look at percentage cover of barnacles and density of limpets. Okay? So large quadrats, low, mid and high, between 5 and 10. Small quadrat, mid-shore, between 5 and 10, but only for barnacles and limpets. Though that is the information you need to be able to do what I want you to do today, plus the knowledge of your demonstrator to be able to ID the animals and plants on the shore. Okay, it's low water now. If you look out there, you can just about see, or I can from here at least, at the low shore area, you can just about see sort of, well, what I know is kelp, okay? We've got quite a good tide today. It's about 1 metre above chart datum. Chart datum is essentially the zero. So it's very similar to lowest astronomical tide. So if we say we've got a low tide of 1 metre above chart datum, it means that today, now, the tide has gone out and it's vertically 1 metre higher than the lowest ever point. Okay? That's not a bad tide. Very often you come here and it's about a 2.2 metre tide. So today we can just about see the kelp, and we can definitely get into the Fucus serratus zone on the bottom of the shore. When you get to the shore, you'll get some words from your demonstrator, but I'd encourage you all to get to the low shore as quickly as possible because the tide is coming in. Okay? Your demonstrator will help you understand where we want to survey on the low shore. It's basically going to be in the Fucus serratus zone, mid-shore, middle of the barnacle zone, and high shore up around the top of the barnacle zone where Pelvitia canaliculata is occurring.
Not gonna happen. Pete!
Yeah?
You take one for the team.
No.
Yeah, can we send someone else to go collect people? Oh, no, no. I can't! I have one.
That's mid-shore up there.
Okay.
Oh,
Right, the tide's on its way in, so keep an eye on where you're working. That's the first thing to point out. So, and then the algae you see here. So this is Fucus serratus. So the way you can tell by that, because there's a few different Fucus species on the shore, but the way you tell is by the serrated edge of the algae. So Fucus serratus, so serrated. So the idea down here now on the shore is you get your quadrats. So I've carried a few down. So what you would need to do is place. Meant to be random something, but say for example I've placed that down here. So first of all you would make a primary assessment of the quadrat, so you would look and say identify these species. So this is a 0.5 by 0.5 quadrat, and then you've got squares here. So for the limpets, like the snails, the shelled animals that you're going to find, what you need to do there is calculate estimate the abundance. So that's counting them, isn't it? So you just count the species. So we'll go through some of the species shortly, just so everybody's familiar with them. So what you do is count those, and then for the algae you want to do percentage cover, and for the barnacles you want to do percentage cover. So looking at this quadrat, what do you think would be an easy, kind of effective way of estimating percentage cover? Yeah, so these squares, there's 25 squares, so each square is 4%, isn't it? So if I was going to estimate this species, should be like 4, 4, 4, and you can add it up, so you can get a really quite effective way of estimating percentage cover. So after looking at what your primary cover is, you would then move the algae away, because there's lots of animals underneath that you won't have counted because the algae is in the way. So what you do is carefully move that all out of the way, and then put your quadrat back down, and then you can see there's different kinds of algae underneath, so it's kind of the secondary cover of algae, and then we've got a number of limpets in here, so there's lots of little various sized limpets. So we have a list, so everybody should have a clipboard, yeah, with a list of species. So most of these, I don't think you're going to find them on the low shore. You're going to find more of them as we head up the shore. So just to go through the list, so if you have a look now, and I'll talk quickly through them. So semi-balanced balanoides and Cathalmus montaguae, they're both barnacles. So you're not going to, you probably see them kind of appearing in your quadrats as you go up the shore, but they're not species that you find in the low shore area. So go beyond that box really round further.
Is it all separate? So if that's 100% kelp, you write 100% kelp, then you can have
In the way.
Count the snails.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing as that one. So that one is.
Well, so I would say that is more than 5. It's like, this is Mastocarpus doratus. Okay, you know this? This is another easy one. Okay, then you need to do like 10 of
This is one. It's
It's probably in your book.
4%.
Yeah. See that there? That's like 5%. So I'll take a bit of that. And I'll ask Stuart when I see him. Alice, but the stripes on the underside are a lot bigger, and the spire has a worn away patch which makes it silver. So we've got a silver patch on the top of the spire.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what this is, right?
That's Fucus serratus.
Okay, and you know what this is?
That's the laminaria digita.
Okay, and do you know what this little
Long
red
earwig.
That's the
Earwig looking
Mastocarpus
thing.
about 5
So that's maybe like how many colours is that? 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up there.
Up one as well. There.
Oh, so 1, 2.
How many we've actually seen, or are we still doing percentages?
Yeah, I'm just saying how many cubes.
Yeah. So there's 4.
Really slow, and then before you know it, you'll be picking up a We're not going very.
Not going to wear the bag.
And also so that we can get those limpets.
tides out.
Well, let's go to mid-shore then. Try and draw.
Catch there. I'd say
Well,
the
well, that's
2%.
Yeah. You're on it.
how much was it?
Right, let's move on. How many is that? Is that 4? Yeah. One more and we can go. Here's the guys. I kept meaning to do yesterday, but Chris.
So you get 2 types of barnacles on the shore.
Right.
Well, you can get aluminius as well. So there's 3 around this area that are dominant, but on this shore, you mainly have Cathalmus montaguae, which is a high shore species. So now we're in the mid-shore. As you get further up the mid-shore, you get some areas with like a transitional zone
Right.
where you get both species. But in the mid-shore, you should just get these will be semi-balanus. You would look at the operculum of the barnacle. So a semi-balanus is a diamond-shaped operculum, whereas Cathalmus has more of a kite-shaped one. So, but obviously it's quite hard to tell when they're this small, so you need an eyepiece.
Sounds tricky.
But with lots of cyprids, what you get is the cyprids are in the waves, they're washing the shore and they attach to the rock.